Hello, good evening. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Guruji, namaste.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Right. So this is based, this is in response to the question that I posted in the Patreon WhatsApp group, and subsequently many gave different answers. I'm not sure if everybody who participated is here in this room right now, but anyway, they can watch the recording. So any idea how do we do this? Any suggestion? If something like this, for example, I go through when clients book consultation, they go through the office, and I just don't interfere. I don't change the timings, etc. And so people rarely get appointments suddenly, like all on a sudden you ask and then you get. And then we come to a understanding that this is the time that we are going to do the consultation. So these are the inputs. Based upon this, what would be your standpoint? Where do you start from? How do we answer this question? Some people, gave some answers. Some of it was partly right also. I'm not saying, you did well. I think some of the students made an attempt. Any suggestion? How do we go about such things? What could be the standpoint?
Guruji, I saw the Panchanga for the 5 p.m. time. And
Okay. 5 p.m. you saw the Panchang. That was
yes, there's a borderline Mars and Sun. That's why I was.
and so what was your statement?
So I said it's something to do with Mars or Sun. And then because Sun is so close, exact degree of Rahu today, I think.
Okay.
So then I thought maybe it's something because Sun involved with Rahu. So that's why government issue something legal. I don't know if this is a divorce-related marriage case that you saw today, but that's what I was thinking. I mean, something to do with government or legal issues because Mars and Sun involved.
Okay. Nothing actually started with respect to the government. It's not gone to the court. It is just that the husband said, "Why continue? Let's part." That's all. It is just and she didn't know what to do, and she was compelled. She started saying, "I need the consultation so badly. I must consult." And most of the time, I won't even take the call. I won't even pick up the phone. I just ignore it if somebody calls me, because I get a lot of marketing calls, because we do a lot of charity. So people who want money, they keep asking every 5-10 minutes the phone. I always find somebody asking me, sending messages, and so on. So why did I break the rule? Why did I say yes, we can? 1 second. But anyway, nice point. Something you were taking. I think you used. Tanuja, you used the 5 p.m., right? That why did I fix
Yes,
5 p.m. and therefore you use that as the reference.
Yes, Guruji.
So that's a nice approach, because even I used to do the same thing. Sometimes, suddenly when you look at a horoscope, you become blank, you get blank. You don't know where to start from. So what could be the issue? Something like that. Okay.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yeah. So sometimes you can actually do the lagna in the mind if you know a little bit about the formula linking the sun's degree and time. And since Chennai happens to be closer to the equator, most probably it will be correct. But as you go higher up, even that formula, some problem will be there. But since we all of us have some software on the phone, or where you can actually generate the horoscope. In my office, I can get it as people will print it out for me. So what you did is correct. You generate the horoscope at 5 p.m. Why the 5 p.m. Slot, and why all in a sudden? Okay. But generally, what could be like anything significant today? Something very different today?
Mars Nakshatra, Guruji.
Mars Nakshatra, is that a very unique thing?
Krishna Plaksha Chaturthi, Guruji.
No, usually when rare events happen, some signification must be there, right? Something to do with something very different. So anything different?
I think it is between two
So, okay, I'll give you the clue.
eclipses.
I'll give you the clue. Jupiter is still at 0 degree, right?
Gandanta, sir. Yeah, Jupiter is in Gandanta.
It's still at 0 degree. What are the things that Jupiter represent? Or what could be the main signification of Jupiter? I want to give you another clue, which I think I forgot to mention in the Patreon message. It is a lady who's booking wanting the consultation urgently. So normally you don't have urgent consultations, right? You only have urgent surgery. You have something else urgent, but not astrology, right? Because what are you going to do all on a sudden? Okay. Husband and children education. Rohit, congratulations. It was husband and children education. Okay, just now I saw Rohit typing in the chat. Now it is up to Rohit to explain on what grounds husband and children education was said.
Jupiter is generally, in a woman's chart, it's regarded to be a husband representation.
Okay.
And also, Jupiter by the virtue is a Putrakaraka, so he's a...
You thought, okay. But you mentioned education. Why? Children education.
And
Could have been any
Jupiter is also a representation of the education as well.
Okay, so we picked up something like it is a Jupiter, which is a rare event. You see, Jupiter 0 degree, it'll happen once in 12 years, right? So Gandantas are places where Shubhagrahas hate to be in, right? Shubhagrahas if in Gandanta.
Sir, for Krograhas, it is okay in Gandanta? Sir?
No. I didn't say that. I'm just saying, think about the Gandanta. Gandanta is like a war zone. Do you think a teacher likes that place? No teacher ever likes a war zone, right? A guru personality will not like the war zone, right?
Okay.
That's why I said that. Okay. Anybody has a facility to share the screen for 5 p.m. Chennai? Or do you want me to do it?
I can do, sir.
Yes, Manoj. 5 p.m. Chennai. We'll wait.
Just 1 minute, sir.
So we actually went back and forth between 5:30, 5, and then finally settled down at 5. Mutually agreed to do it at 5. Okay. There are several things that actually comes up. Okay. Now, blind guess. Do you want to say at least, there are only 9 planets. You want to guess what dasha the person is going through? Dasha and Antardasha. Simply blind, okay? But there should be some basis.
Jupiter Rahu.
Jupiter Rahu, okay. Okay, no issues. Rohit, if you have an idea, you just type it out, okay? Whatever idea.
Sure.
Because, see, we don't expect exact answers, but this will be really, but if you get into this habit, but this will work only for rare events. You can't make it like a regular practice that every time you do something, you get into a Prasna. Prasna is like usually rarer, and suddenly you get the idea. You want to see what could it be. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Thank you, Manoj. Everything there. How do you read this actually? From where do you start? At 5 o'clock?
From Ascendant, sir.
From Ascendant, right? Yeah. I want each one of you to contribute as much as possible in the chat because this can get very interesting. This is a standard approach in any horoscope reading itself. Okay, just imagine if somebody is born at this time, what could you say? But the 5 p.m. Is it exactly 5 p.m.
Yeah, sir. Exactly 5 p.m., sir. 17.
5 p.m. Yeah. Okay. 5 p.m. Okay. Thank you. 5 p.m. The Lagna is at what degree? Something. Okay. Now, in Prashna method, normal conventional Prashna method, what are the key reference point? Simple. Try to keep it as simple as possible. What are the reference point? The main reference point. One is obviously the ascendant, right? Why 5 p.m.? Anything else? Any other reference point?
The moon.
Exactly. So the moon and the ascendant. Okay. Now, with regard to both these reference point, where is the seventh lord?
8th house, Guruji.
Moon seventh lord is in Gandanta, right? But which is more important, Lagna or the moon?
Lagna.
Lagna. Okay. Now we get one more clue. Like in yesterday's session, somebody was saying, that this child is waiting for Ashwini Nakshatra. I mean, sorry, making sure he takes birth within Ashwini, and if he waits a little longer, it won't match his mother's nakshatra, right? I think Pavani said that, I think, yesterday. So something like that. We could have even arrived at 4:30 instead of 5. Okay, why not finish it earlier? 4:30. So 4:30 to 5:30 consultation. But then suddenly, it went back and forth and we got into, but I don't know, moon could still be there only, even at 4:30. I'm not sure. Okay. But finally 5. So anything to do with ascendant 20 degrees, you want to say something?
Sir,
Ascendant
can
20.
I ask one question, sir?
Yes.
What time this person consulted you, sir, for she made a call that she wants an appointment?
Was that the time when you messaged in the group, Guruji?
I must, I don't know exactly, but I can find out.
Because for Prashna,
Sir, for your question, sir, the 20 degrees is many planets are at 20 degrees in the chart, sir. 21, 20. Is it right?
Which are the planets at 20?
There's many planets. For example, Mars is at 20 and Mercury is at 20.
Okay.
Venus is at 20. Yeah.
Wait, I am trying to answer Manoj's question first. Just
Sorry,
hang.
sir.
yeah, this is related to Manoj's question. The reason he was asking that is usually the Prashna is cast when you ask the question, isn't it, Guruji? So,
Well, the standpoint keeps changing because why are we trying to give the answer to the person at 5 p.m.?
Okay, fine.
See, there's no continuity, right? Even if she asked, okay, I think what you're saying is right. When she asked, immediately I do a reading. At that time will become important. But I'm delaying it, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying I'll see it later, but not now.
So, because from my standpoint of view is why is Guruji asking at this time? So, wouldn't I be casting that
Okay,
time?
suppose the problem is all of us are on different time zones and different places and all that. If you don't use me as a reference point and you use yourself as a reference point, there will be several horoscopes. Right?
Yeah.
It's usually given more importance to the astrologer. Okay. That's why in ancient times also they said the cat crossing the path is only for the astrologer, it's not for the lay person. You understand? These shakunas and nimittas are for those who are trying to find out.
Yeah, yes.
You understand? It's not just
Actually, Guruji, the proper way is because at that times astrologers used to visit wealthy people's houses. So from the time they leave
themselves,
until they will start looking at every single saguna. So
yeah. So anyway, we have to answer this question. She called me at 10:51.
Okay.
Okay, 10:51 a.m. today. Does it help, Manoj? If you want to do some research on that, you can. Okay.
Just
What is
want to
that?
see the chart at 10:51, sir. That's it, sir.
You want to see? Okay. Okay. But the point is, it is not continuing, right? I'm neglecting it. I'm not actually willing to give her any answer. So therefore, of course, you can always check it. Well, maybe, who knows? There will be some connection. Okay. This is the time she called?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
10:50.
then again, 7th Lord Jupiter is in Gandanta. So
Again, yeah. It's still not leaving that point. Okay. There is a point. These are pointing to one thing. I just want you to make one single guess what dasha the person is going through and why.
Ketu.
Okay, V.K. Varman, Antardasha is Ketu.
Yeah.
Okay, Antardasha is important. Okay, why now? Why now? Okay, Ketu. Okay, now that Antardasha has been picked up, what could be the Mahadasha?
Jupiter, sir.
Venus, sir.
Wait, take some time. Just look at the chart, get some feeling, you can get some feel. Like if you let your mind, like yesterday, what would we say? For everybody who's in some field long time, something will start guiding them. You get a feel, you get something that almost trying to tell you something, and that happens very often in astrology. Okay.
Saturn, Guruji.
Okay.
Mercury, Guruji.
Reason?
I don't know. Ascendant degree and Mercury degree is very close. I'm feeling some pattern there.
Mars,
And Ketu is there.
Guruji.
Mercury, Ketu
Mars,
sometimes.
Ketu.
It's Mercury. Okay. Why would you say Mercury could be the dasha? If a question like that is asked, what do you think is the dasha? See, what is the person saying? I'm in deep anxiety. I need a consultation now. So she's calling my office, Revati, and she doesn't respond, and she calls me and tries to say that I'm not getting any, but I need to, please, like that. So the moon got into Manoj, for the other, when she called me, where was the moon?
Same, Guruji.
Oh, it's not moved that much, right? Okay.
No, it is the same. It was Gemini ascendant. So
Yeah, it is still in Mercury, right? So
yeah.
A standard clue is where the moon is. It'll have some connection with the dasha, usually. Okay. So here in this case, you got to stack up. In Prasna, when you get stack up, you have to give a lot of importance. Why the ascendant and the moon is in Mercury sign. So Mercury could be the point. If you say Lagna Lord is in the 8th, what would you tell about the person, at least from Prashna point of view? Lagna Lord in 8th. Is it nice to have Lagna Lord in 8th?
No, unstable situation.
Even in normal ideas like Muhurta, keep the Lagna strong. Fix a Muhurta in such a way that the Lagna is strong. Don't keep the Lagna itself is in 6, 8, and 12. What would happen to the Muhurta, the quality of the Muhurta? So Lagna Lord itself starts off with 8th position. Okay. So it speaks about the individual, me, the I, the person is weak in the 8th. Is that a nice place for Mercury? Apart from 8, you have anything else to say that Mercury does well there? Even though Mars does not think of, Mercury does not think of Mars as an enemy, Mars thinks of Mercury as an enemy, right? They're totally opposite. So Mars is red and Mercury is green.
And also there is a parivartan between Mars and Mercury.
Mars and Mercury parivartana. Okay, beautiful. So there is a furthermore weakening, right? But look at the Lagna degree, like somebody pointed out. Mercury is at 20 degrees, Mars is at 21 degrees. Okay.
And Jupiter is DK as per Gemini.
Very good. DK, the marriage planet.
Dharaka.
Yeah. So we get a lot of ideas, but I think it's only, I gave a lot of importance to the Gandanta part. And Rohit, so the only question was, my son's education and my husband. Why did he say this? What do I do? What will be my standpoint? Okay. Now, of course, you can make a wild guess where in her horoscope where you think or Ketu might be, or Ketu Mercury might be.
6, 8, and 12 positions, Guruji.
Which one, Ketu?
Yeah, from Mercury.
Okay. So one thing, between Dasha and Antardasha, which one will you give more weightage for an event?
Antardasha.
Antardasha. Because why now, right? That's the answer. Why now is answered from Antardasha, not Dasha. So Ketu might be on the axis of 6, 8, and 12. Okay. It is on 2, 8 axis. Okay. In Navamsha, where do you think Ketu might be?
Three, 6, 8, 12.
3, 6, 8, 12. Okay. So it is in 8th. Okay. Where do you think the Dashanath might be in Navamsha? From Navamsha Lagna.
Debilitated?
Oh, same thing. 6, 8, and 12.
6, 8, 12. Yeah.
So it will be like conjoined period of planet placed in 6, 8, and 12 in Navamsha. After so many years, suddenly saying, let's part. What is peculiar about Jupiter and Rahu here in this chart? Or even the Sun? All of them.
They are in the influence of Sun, sir. Jupiter, Sun, and Mercury are under the influence of Rahu.
See, we just had an eclipse, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was an eclipse on that axis.
Yes.
How many days has passed after an eclipse?
5 days.
Just that's all, because whatever is the moon's distance, the moon's panchang, the Tithi, will reveal how many days after the eclipse, right? What is the eclipse? Solar or lunar?
Solar eclipse.
No, it's a solar eclipse.
Solar eclipse.
It's a solar eclipse.
Sir.
Solar,
Yeah, it was a solar eclipse.
Yeah, solar for this person is what?
12th house.
12th house.
12th house.
So what could that mean?
Isolation.
Isolation. Okay. You be separate. I'm going to go separate. Let's find freedom. Okay. So that was the statement made. So the 8th Lord sits in. So what do you see from this chart? Some there's a weakness on the 8th house, right?
In this chart, yes, sir.
Yeah, in this chart, Prasna. Okay. So the same.
And Jupiter is Dharakaraka, sir, here in this chart.
Yeah. So the 2-8 axis of the ascendant, from the ascendant Prasna, repeated in the person's chart. From ascendant, again Rahu Ketu on 2-8. Okay. But what is why did we want this discussion is, Moon and Lagna is in Mercury's place. So something to do with Mercury. Lagna Lord 8th. Okay, Lagna Lord 8th this particular thing is so perfect. Bhava Madhya. Right? Lagna Lord 8th. Bhava Madhya. Then add to Gandanta and so on. So it's all about Jupiter.
And one more thing is, sir, at the time of eclipse, Sun is 5 degrees apart from Rahu. Now it is exact the same degree.
It's become more. Okay.
Mm.
In this chart, what would you say about 5th Lord in the 6th house?
Children problem.
Children problem.
Mm.
So I have only two problems, the person says. One is this husband problem and then the child's problem. It is for that.
Sir, even in the Ketu, Mercury Ketu, it indicates dispute with the children.
Mercury Ketu.
Ketu is placed, yes, if Ketu is placed in 8th or 12th from the Lord of Mahadashi. I don't know whether it is in the chart or not.
Oh, you're saying Dasha Antardasha reading.
Yes, yes, yeah. It doesn't state anything with respect to husband, but with children, dispute with children.
Okay.
It's there.
In that case, Manoj, can you, at the bottom, you have divisional charts, right? Navamsha is already available. In Navamsha, do we get any clue about the overall Navamsha? Because this is a question more about children, marriage. Okay, the emergency is only marriage, right? The statement made by the husband. That is the emergency. The other thing is
Rahu Ketu is on 1/7 axis.
1/7 axis with?
Rahu Ketu.
Rahu Ketu. No, Rahu Ketu on the other side, who is there? Saturn.
Saturn. Yeah. Marriage problems, yeah. But Ketu is not good in 7th or Saturn.
No,
both.
What is the yoga for Shani Rahu Ketu called? Okay, Kishorji just joined. Welcome. This is some, just a continuation of what we asked a question. I have a sudden consultation to be done at 5 p.m. today. So we are trying to guess what might have been the main question for the person. The main question is only marriage. Okay. Child was like, it is not an emergency. What is the yoga Saturn Ketu Rahu conjunctions called?
Yeah, this is a.
Is there a name for it? Astrologers have given a name.
There is a name.
What is that? There are several names.
Shrapit Yoga.
Yeah, correct. Shrapit. But I think another name also is associated with it. It's called Shraddha. Shraddha. I don't know. Okay. How do they pronounce? I do not know. It is Shraddha also.
It's Shraddh, right, Guruji?
Yeah, Shraddha, I think. So the Shraddha is heavy on the ascendant, the Navamsha ascendant. Because Rahu, Venus, Saturn, Ketu all on 1/7 axis. Okay. Loaded with the dosha. So that's all we wanted to see. The signification was the Gandanta of Jupiter, and this time Jupiter for this situation, obviously because least degree, because of the 0, also becomes Dharakaraka. So if you had used the moon position, you could have understood that the question must be something to do with Jupiter only. Whatever signification Jupiter. I think that's what Rohit tried and got right. Got the right answer.
Sir, can you explain that once again, sir? Your explanation.
See,
why moon connection?
Always in a prashna, moon has to be given a lot of importance, and lagna has to be given a lot of importance. So the question about the moon just got into Mithuna. Why? So it wants that as a reference point, Mercury, which is the dasha that the person is going through. Always something to do with the moon on that day of consultation, there'll be a dasha or antardasha connection. Okay. See, you don't think it'll work for casual readings. Okay. This is something where you spend money, you book a consultation. There's a lot of karma involved in all these things. If it's a casual reading of somebody's horoscope, you go through a database and pick up a horoscope and then try to do a prashna, it may not work. These are very, very different kind, So the moon gets into Mithuna. And Lagna is also in Mithuna. But that is only if you use 5 p.m. Okay. Now both. But what is staring in the faces exactly at 5, when I start reading the horoscope, the ascendant degree is at 20 degrees. And Mercury is at 20 degrees. Remember in some of the classes I mentioned, if any Lagna degree tallies with any single planet out of the 9 planets, please give a lot of importance. Especially in Prashna. Because in the other one, you don't know the time of birth. But we know this is the time of birth, 5 p.m. today. So from the, I think we did a short video on ruling planets, right? What is ruling planet? Theory. Lagna, moon, day of the week, right? These are the things. What is the day of the week today? Monday. So, but in this case, moon and ascendant were are ruled by the same planet, Mercury. So there is a heavy domination of Mercury. Then you see where Mercury is. It is in the 8th house. Some weakness of the person. The person is weak. Okay. And from the ascendant, the 7th lord is in Gandanta. From the moon sign, the 7th lord is in Gandanta. And Jupiter is the Karaka for, basically for an Indian traditional women, the planet for us, representing husband. I mean, it should be the same for everybody in this world. I'm not saying it's only for. The reason is in the regular format, you look upon your husband like a teacher or like somebody who guides and protects and that kind of a nature, right? A typical husband. Anything else that I have not touched upon, and you think you saw that and you want to say we can also look at it from this point?
Guruji, can you give me the topic, like was it related to marriage, and was it a lady who came for consultation?
Yeah.
Okay, now here the problem is with the score of the 9th house in Ashtavakarga, which is 16, which is one of the lowest scores. And we have to pay importance.
See such a low score, right?
Never, Guruji. First time I'm saying this. And on top of that, Venus is actually hemmed by malefics on both sides.
Okay.
If you look at that. And on top of that, there's a combustion happening along with Rahu Ketu affliction on the 8th house, which is for a lady, the quality of marriage.
Very nice.
And this house has 39 points.
Wait a minute. Let's congratulate Kishorji, because we missed that point, that there is a extraordinary low score in the 9th house. You don't see this happening, it happens once in a long while, right? Yeah,
First time I'm seeing, Guruji. First time I'm seeing.
Devi has given a applause. Okay.
Has anybody seen 16, by the way? Anything number lower than 17?
I saw once in a reading, I saw 16. And that was a heavily afflicted horoscope. All kinds of things. Father passed away very early in life and he became an atheist, and the boy became very bad and got into drugs and so on. It was 16. I remember that. That was the only time I saw in my entire lifetime 16 in 9th house. Okay.
And can we say that even Venus is also having a hit because of this Papakartari? Rahu and Mars and the waning moon.
Yeah, you can add.
Which is a malefic.
On the both sides, yes. So the moon was a participant to the solar eclipse, right? Even though it is a solar eclipse, but to get the eclipse, you need the moon on the same axis of Rahu and Ketu. So a little while before, the moon was in that pack, and it has moved away from there.
And Saturn is also afflicting, Guruji, the 8th house. Once again, keep on piling up.
Saturn is afflicting the 8th house, correct.
Yes, correct. So
Yeah,
there's
we
a
missed.
total package
Yeah,
of damage there on the.
yeah.
Not only this one, the exactly on Ketu, it is 100% aspect is there, 10th aspect of Saturn.
Yes, and Ketu stands
Because
in the Kutumbha
Ketu
Sthana.
Antardasha is going on, right?
Oh,
Ketu Antardasha, Ketu Antardasha is going on.
okay, but this is a Prasna chart.
Yeah, but we drew the connection, the parallel.
Okay.
So in the Jadakam, Rahu Ketu is on 2-8 axis in the Bhava chart and also in the Navamsha chart.
Was Rahu in 2 or was Rahu in 8?
In which one? Navamsha Rahu in 2.
No, in the native's original chart. T1.
Natal chart, Ketu in 2nd.
Oh,
and
same
unfortunately, it coincides with the UL in the chart. The UL happens to be in Pisces where Ketu is.
Okay. And what was the question like? What was the affliction in the native's life? Was there any problem in the life of the native?
Suddenly the husband comes up and says, enough, let's part. You go your way, I go my way. I'm looking for freedom. Why don't you let me go?
Oh, okay. Well, Ketu in the 2nd will do that, Guruji.
Yeah. Ketu in the 2nd, correct.
Kutumbam.
Ketu in the 2nd, but also Upapada Lagna Ketu. It is.
And Rashi Drishti over Venus.
And whatever that we discussed about Jupiter, that is also true with the UL Lord, Guruji. Because UL, Jupiter.
Maybe UL Lord is in Gandanta right now. Okay. Yeah, that's a nice point. Yeah, we can also look like that. The UL Lord in the sky, watch out where it is going. The transit, and then come up with some ideas like this. So Jupiter has suddenly become a very bad state, right? That Gandanta is definitely a point of concern.
But all this can be seen from so clearly from Prashna, which means that it is a case study for
why Kishore, you didn't know the background. Actually, normally I don't give emergency consultation. I just relax. How much ever the client says I want a consultation, we just relax. We don't bother because we take it, okay, it's just a feeling that the person has got. And we won't upset the rhythm in the office because, I don't want more consultations per day. I just go slow. But suddenly, sometimes they accept for some reason. Okay. I don't know why I do that. And since this was a rare event, it came up to my mind, why did I accept? There must be something today. Then I posted the question on Patreon, WhatsApp. That's why I encourage people to be on the WhatsApp group. Those you can keep the WhatsApp group on mute so that you don't get disturbed when the messages keep coming in. You can always, when you're free, you can go through it. See, the parallel between the horoscope is mind-boggling. That is, the Jatakam and the Prashna is something very, catching the attention. You see, Jupiter and Rahu in the sky, along with the sun, they're all in Ketu area, Ashwini, which is the Antardasha. Now, the problem is this man has not made a statement like this. Only now in Ketu Antardasha, Buddha Dasha, this statement has been made. And this is really serious. Okay, it's not like a joke or something. He's been giving some hints already, but the words actually came only now. Okay, just one day.
So before. Hints were there before also, but now he spoke out.
Yeah, now he spoke out. When the hint started, it started in Buddha Mahadasha. The hints that I'm not interested, like I'm losing interest, something like that started showing up when Buddha Dasha started. But it was not like this statement was made. Okay. And now if you want to ask in Navamsha, in the natal chart where Buddha and Ketu are, in Navamsha, Buddha is in the 6th house and Ketu is in the 8th house. You see that? The predominance of Ketu and Mercury on this horoscope, so strong. So there also you have a 2-8, 6-8 and 12 connection. Here also we have the same thing. And then now, we miss this point that it's a rare low score of the 9th house. So,
sir, 6th house is also very big score, sir. 13, 39, together 40 points are there.
Yeah, 6th house is bad, right? It is something which works against marriage. Okay,
Yes.
now that we have time, we are looking all over. In Shadbala, which is the lowest one?
It's
Mercury.
Mercury.
See, the problem is that a man, when he says, is not that much worried. But normally, I'm just comparing. But when a female is being told this for no fault, okay, nothing has been done. So the Lagna Lord's weakness is shown here. Lagna is the I factor. The I is in the 8th house. And look at the low score. You can also make a check on Jagannath Hora. Sometimes I have some doubts about Shadbala and, in Sri Jyoti alone. Are you getting the same in Jagannath Hora? You can check it out. But I think it must be, because it's I can sense it must be
96 points are there for Mercury, sir. 96.
96. Okay, even then it is low, right? It's 100 is the cutoff.
Guruji, may I ask the age of the native before I pose my next question? Could be around 30s or 40s.
78 born.
So my question was based on the ongoing research that you have told us to do. And is there any? It's not about that question, that topic, but was there anything involved regarding the 12th house?
Yeah, there were those, but it is not like how we were discussing in the last.
No, not that. That is missing here because those parameters are not seen here. But there is a version of that parameter which indicates the 12th house.
No, I can tell you loss of interest overall.
Yeah, but not for the wife, right? It's the husband.
No, for the wife.
No, Guruji. The affliction has come from the husband's mind, which means that he is not interested in that 12th house pointers with this lady, right?
No. It is the other way around. The lady is she has lost all interest.
Oh, no, that is what I'm saying.
But he wants divorce, but
no. The point is the husband is interested, but the lady is not interested. That is seen from the chart. That is what I'm seeing from the chart.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, so in Prasna, you get so many hints. That's the most
sir,
important.
the consultation was for a lady.
Yeah,
she came to you, and she didn't want divorce, but the husband wants divorce.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Correct.
Okay.
So she's feeling weak and helpless, and does not know what to do. Heavily confused. So all this because of the eclipsing that happens in the 8th house in the Prashna. We got this clue. But in the basic chart, there was no eclipse actually. But somehow the charts matched up so well. So in Prashna, what you actually look in to is you start looking at some patterns, something. But this should be only done once in a while. You can't have it as a regular habit of always checking Prashna. Okay. It's like suddenly you'll get a feeling. Like suddenly I get the feeling I must look into the tarot card, but I won't have it as a regular practice. Okay. So
sir, can we see Vimshopaka Bala of Ketu also, sir? Can we take it into account?
No, I don't think so, because Parashara never spoke about it, so we are not following that. I mean, does Jagannath Hora give you that? I don't.
Yes, sir. Jagannath Hora gave the Vimshopaka Bala also for Rahu and Ketu also.
Okay.
Yeah. So Guruji, both the charts have any static potential for separation or?
Static potential is heavy.
For separation.
Nakshatra match is not there, sir?
No, Nakshatra match is there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Even though.
Yeah. Okay, now wild guess. Where you think the person's... no, just type it out. Don't talk. Do not speak it out. In the person's chart, where do you think the moon is? Just type.
In the Jataka's chart, not the husband.
The Jataka's chart, not because this chart we have, right, with us. This is a Prashna chart. In the Jataka's chart, where is the moon? Please type it out first, then we'll discuss. Wait, I was not following what you were typing. I will open the chat. Moon is in Libra, Scorpio, Virgo, Pisces. Okay. Shall I tell you the answer where in the Jataka the moon is? Okay, once you're done, you tell me, I'll tell you the answer where the moon is in the chart. Is it okay? I say, I give you the answer.
Yes.
Yes, Guruji.
Yes, Guruji.
It is in the same place where the moon is in the Prasna.
Degree also, sir?
No, degree is not the same. Okay. Now, question number 2. Where do you think the moon is in the husband's chart?
Sagittarius, sir.
See, in a Prashna, if the moon and the ascendant is in the same under the same sign lord, as in this case Mercury will dominate most of the questions.
Okay.
So the man also has his moon in Mithuna. Okay.
But the nakshatras are different, sir.
The nakshatras are 1 minute.
Margasira, Ardhra, Punaros, some of them. Yeah.
Let me check it out.
So this is a very good example of why
People get together.
Transit prediction shouldn't be taken seriously. So.
Oh, you're saying about from moon Jupiter.
From both the people, if you read Jupiter in 11th, would have been an excellent time. But obviously that's not the case here. So
that's the reason why I stopped doing Jupiter transit videos and Saturn videos.
Yeah. So
initially I did it like other astrologers. Okay. Yeah. That was.
But with it, Jupiter and Saturn transits are usually taken for marriage purpose, right? Most of the time.
No,
timing the marriage.
No, actually, the truth is you could have used it, but then there is a potential, the static potential of the horoscope, which determines a lot of things. And that contradicts the overall. See, Dasha Bhukti is given more importance. So this person's Mercury is very bad and so on. But as Varman points out, I found one thing working more consistently is only Sade Sati, Jupiter in third house. Jupiter in third house, Jupiter in Saturn in Sade Sati. Consistently giving bad results. That much alone I saw. Okay, but the other things, going back and forth, something like that.
Saturn in 8th, Guruji, Ashtamasani?
Ashtamasani also, it's not consistent. That's not so consistent, but still it is. But, these things work along with the Dasha and Antardasha. Okay.
So you mean to say, Guruji, if the MDAD shows something and if the Ashtakvarga transits also show a weak number on that place, and if there's something negative that's bound to happen, it will definitely happen because of the confirmation from both sides.
Correct. 1 minute, just hold on.
I think either one of the couple, especially the women, should be in Rishabha Lagna.
Ascendant Lord Sir said already, right? Midhuna or Kanya?
No. So Guruji
What
talked about the natal person's ascendant Lord.
Yeah, Mercury was the
Mercury
ascendant
is the
lord.
ascendant. Yeah.
No, I
It's
thought
dominating
he said only moon signs, right?
Yeah, only moon sign. I
Even
don't think
Lagna is
he's
also
talked
Mercury.
about ascendant.
No, he mentioned ascendant was Mercury.
Okay, I thought he only talked about the moon signs.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes.
So Guruji, just a clarification. Did you mention the ascendant Lord was also Mercury related for the natal charts?
Moon was.
Only moon, right? Was the
Yeah.
ascendant by any chance Rishabha Lagna?
I think ascendant is Rishabha Lagna. No. For whom?
For the lady consulted, sir.
For the lady. Yeah.
No. It is Kumbha Lagna.
Was there any sambandha with Saturn and Mercury, Guruji? Like Saturn aspecting Mercury?
No.
Or conjunct with Mercury?
No.
And for the guy also, it's not Rishabha.
There is no need to go so much into it. It is just a curiosity. What could be the topic of the consultation just from the Prasna chart? Okay. To tell you the truth, I didn't check the Prasna and then ask. I did not ask the question. I thought that must be some heavy connection with the 5 p.m. chart and this person, because of which I suddenly changed my general, the way I do consultations. I broke those rules and I said, yes, we'll do it. Okay.
Sir, even though there is a nakshatra match and in that, there is disturbance.
Yeah. The nakshatras are the same. Okay. Oh. Within Mithuna Rashi, if I say the nakshatras are the same, which nakshatra would you pick up? Only type. Okay, only type in the chart. Out of the 3 nakshatras, which nakshatra would you pick up for this person? Would you pick up Punarvasu or Arudra or Mrigashira? Because the nakshatra is still Mrigashira. Right? Punarvasu, Arudra. How would you say, okay, at least nobody is saying Mrigashira, right? Okay. Mostly Arudra. The heavy connection with Arudra, Jupiter, Rahu and Sun and Ketu, they are all in Rahu Ketu Nakshatra. So much. Okay. Fine. So we shall catch up.
Sir, is it a love marriage, sir?
No, arrange.
28 points matching.
Yeah. Same nakshatra is always 28 out of 36.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, there is
a negative in this type of nakshatra matching, sir. You said once, but I forgot what it can. Same nakshatra matching.
Same nakshatras, the risk is if they're born around the same time, Dasha Sandhi can happen and give them constant trouble. That is one. But when transits goes bad, every transit is bad. Or when it is going good, it's good. Actually, from moon sign prediction, Saturn is not doing well. It's in the 9th. So when you read Jupiter transit, you're not supposed to read it in most of the videos I made for Jupiter transit videos. I used to tell, don't read Jupiter alone. Read it always along with Saturn.
Yes.
An idea kind of promoted by none other than Sri K.N. Raoji. I like that approach because something is already bad. In that, you'll only have to say, this is getting better and this is getting worse, even with Jupiter. So Saturn has to be well placed for you to rely completely on a Jupiter transit. Because I used to always say, Saturn is the king of transit. So Saturn first decides. And then Jupiter, either it is supporting that or not supporting, it is altering that prediction. You'll have to always give Saturn the most important. That's why in Sade Sati, no Jupiter transit generally works. Because but comparative life is all about comparison. So you say, okay, it's getting better. But anyway, it's too early for us to pass on the benefits of a Jupiter transit to the person because it's still in that gray area, that Gandanta area. Okay. See, the main point was not reading the chart, because reading the chart, why should we do it with this chart? We always have the birth chart, which is more important, right? Birth chart reveals actual prarabdha karma. Okay. So ultimately, the birth chart is the king of everything. Only when you don't have the birth chart, then the last resort is Prasna. But this is just out of curiosity. But to tell you the truth, I never saw the chart. Okay. But I knew it must be loaded with common points. And I saw the chart, it's like, so much. Okay.
Guruji, so I just got back. Only now I'm looking at everything. So I did a Jamakul Prashna chart when you, to the time when you sent the first message, which was at 3:14 p.m.
Okay.
And there, the 7th Lord is in the 6th. And then on the 12th house of sharing, there is Kavipu.
Oh, I see. Okay. So whichever way you look, you get the answers. Okay.
Yeah. And it matched with, Harini was filling me on the details, like whatever you discussed in the class. And I was like, wow.
Oh.
So I was.
You came just now?
Yeah, I just came to. It's a busy day.
That this marriage will be. I mean, there are more chances. This marriage will be okay, right, sir?
Yeah, I gave a counseling practical ideas. That's totally a different ball game. Consulting is a different thing. How do you handle this information? So that's an art, actually. How to keep things, what to talk, what not to talk. Those kind of things are there. Okay.
Even though she has Ketu in the UL, this marriage can be saved.
Can be saved to a good extent, because because of the nakshatra match, and plus general regular reasons.
Overall chart.
Yeah, overall chart, and then God fearing. Both are God fearing. That's the best part of it. Okay, both. The husband is going to lots of temples, pilgrimages, and so on. But the lady is having less, time for God. Yeah, that's a point. Maybe that is what Kishore ji says about maybe it's a pointer that she's not doing enough. She herself confessed to me that she's not doing that much, whereas the husband is going to all these big pilgrimages. Okay.
And there are children for them too, aged, 10 years or more than 10 years.
Yeah. Yes, there is. Okay.
This is also one more point where it will not happen that easy, the separation.
Yeah. Oh, there's no point also at that age. What do you want from? So that's actually something else, philosophy, how you approach, how you clarify certain things. And people are willing to listen, like, okay, it's coming from somebody who knows. Okay.
But she wants to have this marriage keep on going, right, sir? One thing.
Yeah. Who doesn't want?
Yeah. So only the husband says some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the highest testing time would be this Mars Ketu. And once this is over, there's a greater chance. But unfortunately, it's not so easy. All subsequent Antardashas for the next 3 Antardashas are also badly placed in Navamsha. So I gave her the picture, but after that, it is, what else we can do? We have to wait and see.
There is a strange parallel to the Prashna theory and the Arishta that we see in the Prashna chart itself. So when you see the Arishta Yogas in the Prashna chart, Dur Yoga, what you call that, and then we see it's just a Prashna chart, not the main D1 chart, then we can, for sure, you can say that there is some major critical shock to the native.
Correct.
That's the reason why that Arishta is being manifested in the form of they say in Tamil, no, like a Gandam or a Maranatulya.
Correct.
So that sort of a shock has prompted her to come to you.
Yeah. And
we see the Arishtas. Because if the D1, if this Prashna chart was healthy, then the question would have been about property buying or opening and closing, all those things, whether we can do this, that. But this is showing a big Arishta in the chart of the Prashna.
Okay.
And even Sai also confirmed that. So in Jamakol also there was some sort of a thing. I think then it means that
I know nothing of Jamakol. I think you and
I don't know. No, I don't know anything, Guruji.
Or maybe Prahlad, Sai Prahlad, I think he must have learned it from that guru he has. So maybe one day using the same, whatever he did at 3:14 a.m. today morning, maybe we'll invite Sai Prahlad to do a session on what exactly is called Jamakal Prashna and how it was concluded, because he says it's a marriage Prashna. It's a marriage question. He has sent me the message. So we'll wait and see. Maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, whenever I find the time, we'll do it. Okay.
Maybe we can maybe I'm not sure if you're doing it, Guruji, but are you also taking the moment the person is asking for a consultation and then doing a prashna and then, confirming it at the time of the actual...
No, I don't do it as a regular, a routine. So it comes to me suddenly, right in the middle of the consultation, some thought will come. I want to see how it is right now. It's very random. It doesn't come on like I have not planned. I've not made it a routine thing. Okay, give me the Prashna chart before I do the consultation. In my office, I don't do, or in my Zoom meetings also, I don't do that. It is only randomly these thoughts come to me. Okay. And when it comes, I just use it. That's all.
So that is the universe giving you a message at the right time for the right purpose.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of things. Sometimes all of a sudden something will happen, and suddenly my watch it will pick up some sound I made and then say, no, I can't understand what you're saying, something like that. Then I'll take it as a clue that I got something wrong in the in the way I understood things. Then I'll rethink and say, okay, maybe it's trying to say some I don't know how that what is that Apple Watch does those things. Suddenly it says some statements, but it's all triggered by a statement that I utter. You see, I read I was doing a reading for a marriage, high trouble. So much of sound in the consultation, and I'm saying, where are you? No, sir, I'm in this place. So much of sound. Can you do something? Can you keep the mic on mute, and then you can even type in the chat, because I just can't bear the sound. So what do? I have a AirPod which picks up the smallest of sounds, and it's like horror movie type. So full sound. I don't know how to explain that. Some washing is going on or something like that. Some metal sound, this sound, that sound. And the person seems to be not worried about it because he can't understand what I am hearing, because he's in a different mood, mindset. Throughout the concert, and then he kept the mic on mute, and then I was feeling very relieved. And then there is a point where he has to talk. At that time, I just want to say, what a noisy thing. I can't understand anything. What do I do? It jars me. And it is so much indicating the noise in their life, in his life. So I take it like this, it's not a normal event. As though you can't find a place without noise in this world. Okay. As though you paid so much money for a consultation, can't you find a place? But it's something else. Okay.
That is like in Tamil they say Shagunam, and in Hindi we say Nimitta.
Guruji, so on this topic, I'm not sure if I mentioned, I feed dogs and all. So usually when I feed dogs at night, even strange unknown dogs, when I go, they will not bark or anything at me. But then this night, it was I think 1 a.m. One of my cows did not return. So I went on to see where he was. And at that time, suddenly some of the stray dogs, which I've never met, they started barking at me. And I had an intuition feeling that something is off. And so I returned home immediately. And I noticed some guy who was inside my, the compound, and he was trying to use my water hose to do something. And it's like 1:30 a.m. Everybody's sleeping, and this stranger is inside my compound. So then I shooed him away, and he was drunk, so it was much easier. I thought it was a burglar, but the thing is, when you spoke about Nimittam and Sagunam, the dogs were like indicating to me that something was off.
Yeah, go back.
Yeah, go back, because usually they don't. Like I do many of my rounds at night.
They know you're a pet lover, right? So all dogs will welcome you. Today, one black dog entered my shop, Guruji. Very friendly with me. I'm wondering what that is.
See, like you were saying something about quantum, physics or something you were saying yesterday.
Very much.
It is so much about. I was impressed when Carl Jung said, "It is only for those who draw meaning out of something. It's only for them." You see, he's not a philosopher. I mean, he's a philosopher, surely, but he's not our type. He's not an astrologer. He's not somebody from India. But he says it is only what kind of meaning you draw from it. So Sai Prahlad draws a meaning out of the dog bark, and that is something else. The dog bark is something totally different. But what he gathers from that is the key here. Okay. So why do you even get the idea that I should post it to the Patreon members to, why did I do that? So that is the reason why even with that beetle leaves, you are able to say something, the fifth leaf is spoiled and there's a big hole there and there's something to do with the child in your family. All these statements, what logic is there? What has beetle nut got to do with, beetle leaf got to do with somebody's life? So it's only about what Carl Jung said, synchronicity. I hope all of you had seen this video I made long time back. Synchronicity, right?
I think there are so many videos that we have not seen, Guruji. Maybe we need to make a list of the videos that are really impressive for each person. Yeah. I would definitely want to search that.
And Guruji, you can also share these videos like, in the group so that people get aware of, okay, there's this video.
Yeah. I was about to say that.
I will, I'll tell you, I introduced, I think in that video, Carl Jung's statement, I give the meaning of synchronicity. Synchronization, right? It's synchronicity. They say that he only coined this term. It was in, Carl Jung is considered as one of the forefathers of modern psychology. So the entire thing is the occurrence of meaningful coincidences, that seem to have no cause, but there is a meaning to it. So there's no cause. What cause? What you think the dog barking caused that man to enter your compound? No. You understand? So it is that what is the meaning that you draw from all this? So it's the same Prasna chart will look very different for somebody who doesn't know anything about it, right? How does it look like? They'll say there is an ascendant, there is a Jupiter here, there is this and that. So the key word Carl Jung uses is related by meaning, the events. And who is giving the meaning? Only human beings can give the meaning. Correct? No other factor in this world can connect a meaning. Only meaning, but no cause. The dog bark is not the cause of the man entering the compound. So he says, no, something is wrong. And then he goes home. Because dog is usually for burglars, right? For thieves.
So the moment you observe a phenomenon, then it comes into your understanding zone, Guruji, I believe. That's what
it's not like that. No, it's not like that. That by which from there you convert it into a meaning, that time it becomes something. Until you convert it into a meaning, it has got nothing to do with any guidance or whatever. So the dog will keep barking, and for all the passers-by, it would make no sense. Either somebody else, shout at the dog or try to, throw stones at the dog or whatever. So the reactions will all be different. But Prahlad takes it in a different way. No, wait a minute. There's something. And then automatically it turns around and goes back. Okay. Something like that. So in this Prashna, you and I looked at it in a very different way, right? All the students and me, or each one of us are looking. Suddenly, Kishorji is saying, look at the ninth house of Bhagya, a sudden drop in Bhagya, right? And ninth house is husband, and so on like that. So it's these are not what is this? This is just number in a blank chart. You're only drawing meaning from it. Okay.
And it actually makes a lot of sense, Guruji, because whatever we see in the chart, and if the chart DTP is correct, the life's events are actually coming according to the analysis that we do. The only problem is, as astrologers who are learning this science, we can do what is known as the reverse thinking, and we can say this is the reason, and this is what exactly the rishis have told. But when you look at a chart and then we find out what could be happening, then whatever we have done, the analysis of the old charts, that pattern starts to sink in. We know Ketu in the house, problem in the family, or problem with the speech and all that. And then we say the 8th house afflictions, even the Lagna Lord has gone to 8th and all those afflictions. We see, and then slowly out of 10 predictions, the client or the native is able to give a confirmation on 7 on 8. And then it becomes a big hit for us. To get at least 6 or 7 correct itself is a big thing. Whereas when we started first, everything was opposite. We would say this person is having a very poor life, and he would say, no, I'm having everything. And then that is where the actual learning starts. Like, in chess also, when you see a checkmate in 3, my student will suddenly shout and say, within just 30 seconds, he will give the answer. I will say, did you not see that it is illegal?
Oh.
And that move will be illegal, but he will say mate in 3, and he will show. And I will say, okay, I'll tell the moves. And when he tells the moves, I'll say the first thing is that the moment you make this move, you'll lose the game. He'll say, how? So think for 10 seconds. I will say the arbiter will come and pat you on the back, and he'll make you sign the score sheet, and he'll send you out of the hall. What do you mean? And I said, no, it's because it's illegal.
Okay.
So these are the things that the students are learning, and the same thing is happening even with astrologers who are looking at charts, the learning astrologers, the budding astrologers. And then, the pattern starts sinking in. Okay. So abruptly, we cannot say that, okay, there is a problem in life. No, that we have to cross that stage. We have to see whether there are any factors which are preventing the problem from blowing up fully. And when the mitigating factors themselves are blowing up, then the person has a very little chance of, going against your prediction. There is a problem in the family, in the husband's, in the marital life, then they cannot say, no, there's no problem in the marital life. So from all the angles, we get the confirmation, and then we make a judgment. That lesson is difficult to get by just, looking at charts. We have to do a lot of mistakes before we become good at it.
Yeah. See, this is the videos, talking about synchronicity and astrology. Date of consultation and your horoscope. Okay. Made long time back, 7 years ago.
Guruji, we can't see your screen, Guruji, and I'm also searching for EKDK synchronicity. Why? Nothing is coming up.
I can see this.
Harini can, Prahlad can see, right?
Yeah, yes, Guruji. You have to change who's sharing the screen.
Oh, okay.
There is this option, yeah.
I didn't get this, Guruji. I searched for EKDK synchronicity. I didn't get it.
I see. Date of consultation and your horoscope, synchronicity.
Nope.
Okay. Welcome back to my next video on Vedic astrology. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about... First, I started Dalai Lama, right? Date of consultation and your horoscope. Hello. I'm open to the guidance of synchronicity and do not let expectations hinder my path. Dalai Lama. Welcome back to my next video on Vedic astrology. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about synchronicity, a term invented by a famous psychiatrist Carl G. Jung. But if you think I'm going to talk about synchronicity from that angle, I'm not going to. But in this video, I'm going to talk to you synchronicity from the point of view of Vedic astrology. Even before explaining to you what synchronicity actually means, I'd like to tell you a story. This is a story about, okay, just go through this. Look at the comment. Amazingly, today is 8th, freaky. I'm learning astrology. All your videos are great. And all you stated in your video in terms of consultation time and phase, that one goes through absolutely reflected my situation. I mean, you can go through the... Okay, when you have time, you please go through it.
Guruji, do you have different channels or is this the main channel, the only channel?
Only one. 26th. So this is something that I always noticed when the date was ruled by, Saturn star, 8th star. So, I mean, this is something that I all the time works. Okay, I don't know. In the end, I say something. This is the one. Synchronicity is a concept first explained by. 1 minute. 1 second. Where did it go? Coincidences. Synchronicity is a concept first explained by psychiatrists, which holds that events are meaningful coincidences if they occur with no causal relationship, yet seems to be meaningfully related. Meaningfully related. The problem is the meaning is derived by us based on our knowledge and how to connect the dots. That is up to us. So the same Prasna chart, every astrologer in the world will connect in a different way. You get the point? It's not about what is there in the Prasna, but we do it based on our skills. Okay, and what we draw from that. And in this Prasna chart, the most revealing thing was the Lagna and the moon are in Mercury sign, and the person is going through Mercury Mahadasha. That Mercury in the Lagna is placed in the 8th, perfect Bhava Madhya 8th. Why 5 p.m.? Because Revati said, can we do it at 5:30? Then I first said 4:30. Then I changed my mind. I said 5. Nothing to do with astrology at that time. It's only after fixing everything, my mind works on it. Yeah.
So Guruji, I just remembered one more thing, something that happened recently. So I was trying to get a place for rent, and as I was going to give the advance for the academy, so as I was going to give that advance, when I kept my leg, when I entered that building, I slipped immediately. And then because the floor mat was so smooth, my feet was dragging, and so I went out and I entered back into the house. So I felt, wait, something is off. And just like that, what happened? The deal, after negotiations, the deal, we had to, break the deal. But
yeah,
as when the Saguna happened, I realized things will not happen. But since I was already there, I went on. I gave the advance.
You continue.
Yeah.
And if you don't continue, how do you prove that it is a bad event? Okay. That's also there, right? So the problem is sometimes you really can't alter the result also. Several times it has happened. But then we got no choice. The journey continues. What do you do? Okay. And then it's only later on going to prove. Okay.
For me, the cat crossing doesn't work because I don't consider that as a...
That's the point I'm talking.
I take it as a good thing, actually.
No, that's what I'm telling you. It's only when you start and when you... So therefore, something else is talking to us. But if you're not concerned about it, then obviously there is no meaning, right? That's what is the definition of synchronicity. The meaning is the most important point. For an astronomer, what will he say? Jupiter in the sky has reached there. Why you people are wasting time on such things? Correct? So what, Jupiter will come there several times for a scientist.
One recent thing that I noticed in my life is, that I'm going through something legal, right, sir?
Yeah.
So the first day I got the notice was on an 8th. Then I met the legal counsel on 17th.
And then you met the
notice
P.
went on 26th.
Yeah, and then you met the P on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens, like I'm so convinced with all these things. I'll tell you one thing. When I was going through Rahu Shani, only 8, 17, 26 and Saturn stars, the local financiers will come to me. Where is my money? And I will, find excuses, this, that, something. But I must have done a lot of good things in the past life where they never misbehaved with me. Though they were all guys who regularly did that. But to me, they will behave very different. I don't know, whatever reasons. And those days, I had no contacts that I have today. Okay. It's just an ordinary situation, nothing big. But today I'm just thinking, why did it happen like that? Why didn't they do certain things that they do for other people? They kept quiet. And they'll be using abusive language to somebody else, and they'll turn to me and they'll say, Dhilip sir, please keep that money ready when we come again. And the worst part is they'll only come on the same day. They'll never come on the other days. I noticed that over and over again. Then I created this rule about Saturn effect. So now people are sending me, feedbacks on the videos. You just go through the video and see about.
Guruji, this is nature trying to teach you the importance. Like, I got into Jamakul Prashna because one of the dogs I was feeding, she suddenly went missing. And that earlier day, she was giving me a very, she was making a different noise. I took her to the vet and I came back and the vet did not find anything. So I asked Prashna to my friend and he said, don't bring the dog in. Just keep it where it is. Okay, he didn't say why. Then the next day she went missing. I didn't know it for 2 days. And then I did like 400 kilometers locally searching for the doggy. And I think I spoke to you on this too. But that time, but that time, I couldn't ask my friend all the time in Prashna, like, where is it? So I was doing the Prashna manually and was trying to figure out how to do it. And slowly, I was able to grasp some of the basics. But what was interesting is every time when I asked the Prashna, it would always show either delay or you won't find it. And eventually later I came to know that the doggy passed away. But the Prashna was, it was like nature pushing me to learn the skill. If not, I probably would not have, there was no need for me to do it. So similarly, where, those guys coming on those particular days, I think it was like Shani Deva wants you to learn this and wants you to identify this pattern.
Correct. So what is happening to Manoj for the rest of the entire proceeding, any number of dates, everything will only be this. It won't be anything else. Okay. So that also reminds us that we should do crow feeding and we should do Hanuman Chalisa. We should take care of the physically challenged. We should become kind-hearted, generous, and so on. In fact, Rahu Shani taught me the power of food because I went for a whole day fasting. So the only food that I'll have in the night is the bananas given by the temple. In the temple, priest will give me. That's the only thing I used to eat. And during that time, I lost all my ego because, I was very physical and I was a weightlifter. I was very strong and I was well fed actually throughout life. So I did not know about hunger. But in those 2.5 years, I learned everything about the power of hunger. So when you know the power of hunger, you automatically start giving food to others. You enjoy giving food to others. That's why when the late MGR, when he went through many days without food, he remembered that And when he became the CM, he implemented the noon meal scheme that later on became one of the most famous projects. Right? Till date, it is going on. No matter whatever, whichever political party is ruling Tamil Nadu, it goes on. The power of knowledge. Okay, this hunger is the greatest thing, one of the biggest thing. Okay, so just try to do a lot more, charity on Saturday. All my friends who drink, I tell them, don't touch the drinks on Saturday. Don't have non-veg on Saturday, something like that. It's basically trying to discipline, okay? Fine. So we'll catch up again.
So one question, I'm sorry to interrupt if you don't mind asking, because I wanted to ask this since a long time. If it's okay, just one thing, that's if you can just help me with Gandanta related remedies. Do we have anything at all for Gandanta? Because in today's case, it sounded predominantly for a Gandanta related
Gandantas, the best. Anybody wants to suggest a god for Gandanta? Which god could be the best?
Kala Bhairava?
Yeah, Kala Bhairava. This Shiva energies, basically, Lord Shiva and Kala Bhairava, correct.
Like something like
we have a remedy mentioned in
BPHS. Or, see, there is one more. What did he say?
BPHS.
There in BPHS, I think for Gandanta, there is a remedy.
No, that is birth in Gandanta.
No,
that is Gandanta from the point of view of the Lagna Gandanta, the time of birth, right? Where the moon is or where the Lagna is? I think mostly it is where the Lagna is, right?
No, even the planets can get into Gandanta.
Earlier.
No, it is also, it is moon and Lagna. Lagna also, we have the term Lagna Gandanta, right? Lagna Gandanta is a term. Yes.
BPHS.
Yeah. BPHS covers that part.
So Guruji is like, deity is like Uma Maheshwara, like a form where you have Devi and half you have the male side, fire.
Ardhanarishwaran.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ardhanarishwaran, where the half side is the Lord Shiva's deity, half side is the Parvati Devi's deity.
Oh, I see.
But if a planet is specifically getting into Gandanta, like here in our case, we have seen Jupiter. But let's say if Mars is in Gandanta or if any other planet is in Gandanta, what is a strong remedy for a specific planet? And is it a strong rule?
No, usually you connect the god. For Mars, okay. It is which god? It is Skanda.
Obviously, Subramanya. Yeah.
So depending upon, you can make it personalized. Planet-wise, you can connect it, whatever you're doing. But I think it is about Rakshasa. Okay, so obviously, it is about something bad that you have done in the past that's coming out. All these Rakshasa elements, including Rahu also, all of them are only about the bad things that has been done. What is the actual, what is that? Sashtiyamsa, right? In Sashtiyamsa, what is the term for the first to 30 minutes of 1 degree? Something
we can
Gora, Gora Rakshasa something. I don't know which one comes first. Whether Gora comes or Goramsha, Rakshasamsa something. That is why it is Gandanta. Okay. Wait, I have a slide. But ultimately it will be something fierce God only. It will be more something fierce. Gods must be
not a Prasanna this thing. Not a Prasanna deity, got it. Okay. It's more where
more one by one, based upon different. If you have a Lagna in Gandanta, you will be always in a fighting mode. The mood to fight, the mood to fight, especially that which is over Scorpio and Sagittarius.
Okay.
I think that's something to do more with, that's a moon's debilitation point. And usually why the Gandanta is over water and fire is because it's conflict. Water, fire. So sparks. Okay. So there'll be a fiery nature in the person.
So if a planet in Gandanta, it can never be better, sir. But like example, like if Jupiter.
No. Whatever said and done, it is all about change in attitude. What is the Rakshasa? Agitated. So what could be the opposite of it? Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Goes, calm down. Don't fight like this.
Okay.
That's the logic, actually. If you go from you look at all the Shanti mantras, it's all about knowledge, and then say, why do you want to fight? You don't argue, you don't fight. You be peaceful. Be, what is that? Jesus said, right? Something to do with silence. He said, be silent. Be silent and know that you're God. Something like that. Right?
Be still and know.
Be still. Yeah, be still and know that you're God. Be quiet. Don't do anything. If you are at peace with yourself, any place is home. So ultimately, these things. So what is the point of you saying, no, this is because that guy said this, I fought, I argued, and I had to prove my point and all that. It's all about fight only. The fight between the Asuric and the Deva element in us. Okay. So of all the three Gandantas, I think they're rating the Jeshta Mula as
Gandanta is the toughest.
I think there was some other logic. I tend to forget these things, but that's the main point, I think. Okay. The water and fire connection, and I've noticed people in Sagittarius border Lagna, they're very rude and when they get angry, they start
arrogant.
They got screaming. You can hear the screaming sound. You can't control them. Okay. They reach a point. It goes to the screaming level. They really bring out it will be like that. And it's very tough to argue with them. I always give up. I say, no, I can't. I can't do anything.
My third son, he's Purva Shada Lagna, I believe. And when he screams, it's...
No, but what is Purva Shada? Purva Shada is not Gandanta.
No, but maybe the quality of the nakshatra is that when he's like crying.
No, that is very different. What I'm saying is something else. You are talking about a child crying. It's not the same. Okay, it's definitely not the same.
Sir, can I ask one thing, sir, here with respect to Gandanta?
Do you really? Because I did a lot of consultation today. I'm tired also. I need to go.
No, just a confirmation point, sir. Just confirm yes or no.
Okay.
The Gandanta works really, negative gives when the Lagna is also at the same degree, right, sir?
Yeah. I am giving a lot of importance. I am giving a lot of importance to Lagna degree. I'm not saying I'm not giving importance to moon degree also. In moon degree, that last part, Jeshta, that last bit, at least 5 cases of autism.
Oh my God.
I have with me autism. Exactly 29 degree and change.
Of moon, sir?
Very dangerous, very precarious. They would have episodes of epilepsy, shivering, the mind, all kinds of things. That 29 and a half. It is in the last half somewhere. It is very acute.
In like closing the border of the water sign between Simha and the Karkatakam, or okay.
Anybody found out the name for that Amsa, that Sashti Amsa? I have to search in my iPad. Rakshasa. Rakshasa is it? First one is Rakshasa or Goramsha?
1 minute, sir. Let me share my screen.
Wait, I can open my iPad 1 minute.
Sir, if you don't mind asking, can you once repeat that delayed development delays and that eclipse case that you mentioned? I just wanted
29 and a half
because
29 and a half of the Jeshta part.
Okay.
If you see here, this one is showing as Rakshasa.
Which one?
Yes,
it's showing as Rakshasa. Wait, I have 1 minute. Sashti Amsa, 16 names. 1 second. I have it as a file. Yeah, Gora. Gora is the starting. You want me to share that? Wait a minute. I can share it straight away.
Where is it, Manojji?
No, I'll show you.
Here
It
in
is there
in my screen.
Okay.
Wait. I'll show it immediately.
It is Gora, sir. It is
Gora?
showing here. I just moved the time.
Yeah, Gora. This one. See, what you see here is the actual division in the starting from the male sign, the odd signs. So it starts with the odd sign. So right now, Guru is in Gora or is crossed Gora. Is come to Rakshasa? I'm not sure.
It's come to Rakshasa, sir.
Rakshasa, correct. Gora, Rakshasa, then Deva, then Kubera, and go on. You go up to Indureka, the last part of Aries, then reverse it from here. So it will go reverse, then forward, then reverse, like that. Got it? Done?
So in Gandanta, like, are the energies getting like, unbalanced?
What?
Are the energies getting unbalanced, like, of the Graha, fire and watery sign?
See,
it's like a clash of energy. Yeah.
See, whatever I say, whatever I think about planets and all these topics are, finally it will be human beings, sin and virtue. That's all. Either you did a mess up or you did some punya. So all the negative things in horoscope connects to our past life sins. And as a result, punishment. Sin, punishment. Merit, reward. That's all. So if you see that, all those small things like, see, actually we are supposed to look into all this. That Sastyamsa, like now Manoj pointed out we have the breakups here itself in the software. But practically, we run into time trouble. How many things we need to check? It's like in the stack up, you can say one more point. It is in a benefic Sastyamsa. It is in a malefic Sastyamsa. There are people who do all these things. There are some scholars in astrology who will go through everything. But the problem is when you start talking about consultation, it goes into a different direction. What you tell is something else. How you do that is an art. But what is astrology? It's very complex. You must see some scholars discussing horoscopes. You will think, oh my God, so much you have to work on. But there are people, remember I told you once, one guy walked up into my room in Pandi Bazaar. I want to see your chart. Showed the chart. Next year, in Rahu Dasa Ketu Bhukti, you will be in foreign country. Okay? Bye. That's it. He went away. And I was in Netherlands. And I was finding myself in Netherlands where I had zero interest of going anywhere. It just happened. Not even interested. Okay? One after the other, events late, and I'm going. I'm there. Not even 1 rupee spent. Okay? Nothing. Including the suitcase they buy and give it to me. But if you look, did he do Shadbala calculation? Did he do Vimshapaka? This is what even Sri Ken Roji once mentioned. It's not about, all these calculations. And again, I would say, oh, suddenly you look at it, maybe that's trying to tell a meaning. And if you're not looking at it, I don't know what to say about it. Maybe that day the client was, the fate was in such a way that not supposed to, maybe get that information that day. Okay.
What about this person who was in the US when he could tell the exact placement of the grahas by just looking at the face? It was documented by K.N. Ravji.
Yeah. Mark Boni.
I think. Yeah.
That, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There are so many.
It's there in the book also.
Yeah. There are so many things like this.
I'm just breaking my head to see what sort of sadhana he must have done.
Yeah. Something. But I'll tell you one thing, Keshwarji, about all this. I'll tell you a beautiful story and then I'll finish. I may have told this story before. Buddha and his disciples are walking somewhere. They're going to some meeting. And on the way, a man suddenly comes in front of Buddha and say, wait. And he knows the Buddha as the Buddha, right? He's a great, all that he knows. But he wants to say something. and then he looks at a hen and then does something like that, utters a few words like how you see in the modern day movies, and then the hen gets into a shivering mode, and then finally it drops dead. Okay, he just uttered something and the hen dropped. And Buddha acknowledged, with his nod, good, you're able to do this. Because he wanted, he wanted to see that. And then when Buddha was about to leave, the man stopped him again and said, wait. Then he uttered some mantra, and the same hen came back to life. It got up again. He didn't touch it at all. Okay, just by pointing. So this time the Buddha spoke. He asked him, how many years you've been practicing this? He said, more than 50 years. The sadhana is for 50 years, I think. He perfected it finally. Then Buddha, because of his psychic powers, he shows a lot of visions in the universe. How something is taking birth, how something is dying. Animals, human beings, all kinds of beings born, dying, born again and again and again. And then he tells the man, what is happening naturally in the world, you have wasted 50 years trying to do what is happening automatically. And then he walks away. So there are many things that we do which is actually not required. Okay. But it's okay once in a while, It happened once in Sifi.com. One guy was sitting on his computer and he had a horoscope in front. He asked me, can you guess where Jupiter is in this chart? Simply like that. I said, Jupiter is here. He said, oh my God, how did you do that? Okay. At this rate, can you say where Saturn is? I again said Saturn. Will you believe this? Actually, you know what I did? Simple. I had a horoscope on my left side. I was just looking at it and answering the question. 4 planets or 5 planets, whatever he said, and he stopped. He didn't ask me further. All of them I got right. But this is nothing to do with any siddhi. Okay. But the man, you say, must have done something to get that. So I know it's possible because I have guessed the nakshatras of people so quickly. Then maybe people can do something more than that. Maybe the planetary positions and so on. All this is possible, right?
But this then, also validates the astrology theory.
Yeah. It validates. So each time I got the nakshatra right, I used to think, so to me it was like one more time validation. Oh, so it works. There is something. It's like occasionally, is it really working? Is it completely all right? Are we on the right track? What if the Dyanamsha is wrong? All those kind of questions.
So, Guruji, what do you see in a person's face like when you're reading the nakshatra?
I can't explain that. I can't really explain that. Okay. I keep doing it. But when I do it, almost 90% I'll get it right. But when I get it right, it will be only 1 star. I won't say, is it this, next, nothing. Only 1 star I will say. And that will be the answer. So when I get it right, enough. I'm very much satisfied. If I get it wrong, okay, I leave it. But I'm not saying, is it Ashwini, is it Punarosu, is it, something like that. Then it is a hit or miss. Okay. Okay, I think it's time. I have to go. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manoj, for sharing the screen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night.